Nah, I don't think so. I mean, Daredevil had some... I'm not saying that Daredevil was amazing or anything. But yeah. What Jessica Jones was... How can you think that's great? Jessica Jones, the series, is total trash. It is a horrible story. This has nothing to do with the acting or with the actors or anything else. The story itself is garbage. It's total garbage. Like, I've never understood how people could like that. I actually had arguments with a few guys that I met at in the town nearby, and they also said that they really like it. They were running around with a bag of it, and I was just like, how can you like that? It's so trash. The story is so bad. Ugh. Different taste in movies, I guess. Oh. Yeah, the all of a sudden immune against the mind tricks. And mind trick opponents are the most boring ones that you could possibly come up with. Like, everything that controls your mind and has the ability to control your mind is just fucking OP. It's OP. Like, either you find someone who's immune against it, or you find something else that it makes you immune against. And you know when they lock him in, they lock him into that thing, and you're just sitting... The moment they locked him in, you already knew that some idiot would let him out. You were already sitting there, and you were just like, yeah, someone's gonna let him out, right? Because if they don't, then the fucking story is over. And of course there's someone like, yeah, I don't believe it. And they open the door, and you're like, yeah, totally didn't see that coming. Ugh.
Your loyalty is noted.
What's my draft? Donison, thanks, bro. Cheers, buddy. Draft link is being made, apparently. Okay. So yeah, Sense8 is great. I like Stranger Things. I'm not done with the season, but so far I like it. There were a couple others that I really loved. But yeah, there's a couple of really bad ones out there. Or it's like, most of them usually have a very good first season, and the second season oftentimes is good too, and then at some point they are just like getting worse and worse and worse. Like the best example is How I Met Your Mother. God, that series became so bad in the end. Oh my god. It was such an amazing series at the start. I loved it. And then from season to season, it just got worse and worse and worse. And you were just like, could you please let it die with grace? Could you please just let it die with grace and just like finish it? One of the few that I actually still enjoy after like ages is Big Bang Theory. I'm still amazed that Big Bang Theory is still capturing me. Another one that I actually kind of like, total different genre right now, like jumping from like superhero stuff and like comedy, Murder in the First. I like that a lot. I mean, of course, it doesn't really like measure up to stuff like The Wire and The Shield and all that stuff, but still, it's actually like really good. So that was pretty nice. Do you guys know Bosch? Probably not. I'm not even quite sure if that's a big thing in the US. I doubt it a little bit. But that first season of Bosch, that was very cool. And I get a draft. All right. So we have to, I can switch it a little bit. Dude, I can rant about that Jessica Jones shit for like days. Because once it is clearly a bad story. I mean, it's okay that there are some people out there that like it, but like it is a shit story, and you can make like objective arguments for some of them, not for all of it. And I can understand that some people still like it, but that automatically when you criticized it back then, I don't think this is still the case right now. The first reaction was always like, "Yeah, you're a women hater," and I'm just like, "What? What? Why?" I didn't get it at first. I was just like, why? And it's like, you only don't like it because it has a strong female character. I'm just like, fuck that. It's just a shit story. It has nothing to do with the character. Character's cool. Like, the logic that some people have. It's just like, what? Has nothing to do with it.
Your loyalty is noted.
Purdy, thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. Okay. Blackhearts Bay, game number 1. Guys, with the semifinal, the Water Dragons are going up against the Royals. Blackhearts Bay is our first map, and this is still heroeslaunch.gg. So we are looking at the amateur scene right now, okay? So this is not like pro level or anything. A lot of the guys are diamond, they're masters, they're a little bit lower. If you want to participate in something like this yourself in either one of their tournaments or in their league, which is starting into a new season very soon, you can do that either as an individual player or as a team. It doesn't really matter. Even if you want to play in a team, you are matched with others that are on your skill level, and then you can participate in that. Also, it doesn't matter how good you are, since there's several divisions. So yeah, definitely check it out. heroeslaunch.gg, great thing for the grassroots scene in Heroes of the Storm. In this game now, on the other hand, we are currently in the semi-final of that tournament. We have Water Dragons going up against the Royals and a Zul'Ban on Blackhearts Bay to kind of deny the rotation between the mid and the top lane that we oftentimes see to get a bit of an advantage when it comes down to the experience. And of course, Zagara is, even though she got nerfed in the last patch, still banned out by the Water Dragons because they are saying, hey, bot lane Zagara, nah, thank you very much. We can't deal without that. It's just a little bit too strong what she can still bring to the table when it comes to lane push. We have seen a couple of crazy comps already, and again I want to stress that this is amateur level, so some of those drafts will definitely not resemble the pro scene, since of course also hero pools are going to become an issue here. The Royals, they're still starting things off with the Sylvanas, which first of all can of course help to just like snowball this a little bit. The more structures you take down with your team, with your heroes, the more effective your turn-ins and those cannonball barrages are going to become for you then later on. And the Water Dragons, as they did in one of the previous games, are once again drafting the Kerrigan. Kerrigan and Oriel right off the bat. Okay, that means no cleanse, okay? So in this case, they already let the cleanse go, but Kerrigan has decent wave clear with her sweep. And they also have the Kerrigan right now, where they can just like start to jump in and take a few of these boys down. The Royals might be well advised to either ban or take ETC, since that Kerrigan and ETC combination has been something that we've seen a little bit today already as is. And they're drafting an early Tyrael. And Tyrael is of course a pretty fantastic hero when you're going up against a Kerrigan, since Kerrigan is someone who likes to engage into you and tries to get that stun lock, but Kerrigan, Tyrael is the perfect counter against this. Manly Gugu, thank you very much for the resub, 14 months and going, cheers bro, it's appreciated. And there is a Sonya now. Okay, so Sonya with a bit of pressure against Kerrigan. But why do you draft a Sonya on Blackhearts Bay? Blackhearts Bay is a map where Thrall, Sonya, and also Illidan, for example, are absolutely spectacular. Since you don't really have to fight against your opponent here. You can really just like play around them by getting camps and then turning in. And that's something that Sonya, of course, excels at. She can take a lot of these camps solo, and that means that she's going to be very strong when you're trying to just play a bit of PvE mode on the map. The bans, on the other hand, personally, I would still expect a ban on ETC. We have the Water Dragons with a Morales ban. All right, so Morales is banned out. That leaves Rega, which I find surprising that you would let the Rega through here. I mean, Rega is not automatically an must pick, but Sonya with Rega, that Lightning Shield, that is pretty strong. And then you also have the Ancestral to help her out at the front line. I actually think that would be very cool. And there's the ETC ban, so that doesn't really surprise. Water Dragons will have to just adjust their front line a little bit. I personally can see a Muradin. We have seen a lot of Kerrigan teams going away from a Muradin after ETC was taken away from them. There's still a couple of options like a Johanna. I mean, Johanna has more or less now baseline Knight takes pawn. That helps her to be a bit more effective as a solo frontliner, since she can easily go into block. Or, if the situation demands it, Regeneration Master. So that helps as well. But yeah, let's see how they are actually going to run this. They also need a range damage dealer. And they go into a Tychus. I could have seen a lot of heroes here for the range damage. I still expect to see overall a lot more Vala play these days, since that multi-shot build is so strong and can really do a whole lot of work. Right now, Li Ming would have been open as well if you're trying to go into a mage instead. Tychus in this setup, of course, is mostly a tank killer. He thrives on heroes that have high hit point pools. And so far, the Royals don't have that. They're lacking a little bit of wave clear. I mean, don't get me wrong, Oriel has a bit of wave clear like a lot of these heroes have, but they don't really have that massive like push like a Sylvanas. With Falstad, the situation changes, since, of course, the Boomerang is going to be able to push these waves back a little bit more often. So right now we have Jaina for the Royals, and that is already a fair amount of damage if they lock her down on point. Like, you can actually do a whole lot with that. Doom Socks, thank you for the resub. The Doom Socks. I need to get myself a pair of those. But Jaina is actually like, the slows are pretty great that she can get. There's also, of course, that Blizzard. If you have, this is actually like a really interesting setup for them right now. I wonder if they would consider going into a leap with Sonya here. I highly doubt it, since you really want to have Wrath of the Berserker if you're playing a setup with Tyrael. But it would, of course, be a bit of a dream going into like something like a leap into Ring of Frost. But this is more and more looking like we're just going to have that front line and Jaina just trying to drop those Blizzards and also attempting to zone that backline with it a bit. Brightwing for the heals over the Rhaegar. Not 100% certain if I agree with that when it comes to the healing power, but if you think about Kerrigan jumping in, then Brightwing can definitely do a whole lot. Oh wow, a Leoric single frontline. Now the Water Dragons have been playing some really fantastic games here today already, but this setup that they're running here, I'm not really convinced. I have to admit that they played really well in the last game that we casted. I'm not quite sure how strong the Royals are, but the draft that the Water Dragons have here doesn't really convince me just yet. I mean, they have the combo on the other hand with the Leoric Entomb plus Falstad Mighty Gust, so that can help. If they get someone like Jaina into that, that would be great for them. But this is going to be really an interesting game for sure. I mean, there's of course a tendency for the Water Dragons to go into team fights, whereas the Royals have the opportunity, more so than the Water Dragons, I feel, to play around the opponent, especially with the Brightwing having the global presence. Falstad has that, of course, as well. It's going to be an interesting one. Game number 1, Blackheart's Bay, always an interesting map as is. So the first game between the Water Dragons and the Royals. Yes, heroeslaunch.gg. Alright, let's get this show on the road. They don't have a lobby up yet. They do now. Okay, so that means I have to adjust my overlay since they switched that around. Okay. Okay, the rest of the team is starting to move in as well. Well, of both teams, actually. Okay. I am getting hungry. Okay, so we miss... Okay, we actually missed the other team now, so they have the rest in. But we're missing them. And we can start. There's no Gaslow this time. Like, I was more or less promised a Gaslow after the last draft, so I'm a little bit disappointed here. Maybe if you're having another game of Braxis, they're gonna go for him again. I'm not. I guess they're in contact with the other team, but so far nobody joined. Okay. Let me see what's happening over here. Oh, jeez. So... Okay, so now we have everybody starting to join up in the lobby. Yep, Edward Sabin. How strong are those guys? Statistics. Okay, so they're also like Diamond Master level from the looks of it. Grandmaster. Okay, so we're talking like Master, Grandmaster, Diamond level right now from those guys that are playing here.
Wait till they get a load of me.
You dirty girl, Kerrigan. You dirty girl. I can't understand why actually like so many people complained back then about the ass of Tracer, that there was like such an uproar. Have you ever looked at the ass of Kerrigan? That butt, my friend. Like what? But you complain about Tracer, really? I mean, she squats. I can tell you that much. Alright, boys. Kerrigan is fit. She's working out daily basis for sure. Alright, looks like we're ready. There we go. Coolio! Game number 1, everybody. In the best of 3 series, semi-finals. And also the last game that we are going to cast. I'm going to host then the official caster. And those guys. Ta Yayak. A pretty fun name. Alright everybody, game number 1, we have the Water Dragons going up against the Royals, and to the left side we have Kerrigan played again by Pumax, Rabata on Leoric for the Water Dragons here, Octani this time on Tychus, not on Gaslow, Nemo Hostum on Falstad, and Swagmaster69 is playing Oriel. To the red side of the map, the Royals are playing right now with Eduard on Sonia, Adiesta on Sylvanas, Andresh on Brightwing, Haft on Jaina, and Yayak on Tyrael. So once again, quick reminder, this is actually heroeslaunch.gg. You can check out the website of the amateur tournament and also like the amateur league that they are running here. A lot of these players are roughly diamond to grandmaster level, depending on who you're looking at. So it's basically all over the place. But if you are lower than that, you can also participate in the league itself. There's a new season that's starting soon, and even as an individual player, you can participate here. You don't necessarily have to be a full team. You will be matched with other players that are roughly on your skill level. So in this case, we actually have already a push at the top lane with Sylvanas. They were moving into the middle. You could see that the blue team was moving mid lane, roughly towards the chest, because they were not quite sure where the push would be happening. But up at the top lane, value already got. Tyrael is down though, so they basically traded a tower for a kill. A trade in favor of the red team in this case. And by the way, Sonia so far took down the bot lane. Falstad flies in to secure the experience, but that pushes him back and means that we are going to see most of that chest already taken by the time that he comes in to help out there. So the chest at the top lane went to the blue team. Leoric is down already. We've been talking about him maybe being a bit of a liability here in the long run. But there's all of the coins now taken. Kerrigan though, nice dodge on the stun, but the second one hits, and that's the coins now taken by the blue team. They get 2 kills against 1, they get the third one as now Tyrael dies. Great play, that Kerrigan once again on fire. Talking about the talents that we have on level 1, we have Paralysis taken for Sylvanas. We're seeing again the Blade Torrent, which gives Neons the extra damage on Kerrigan for her Impaling Blades. Leoric went into reanimation. We're not seeing him with a complete focus on Drain Hope here. And we have again the dash for Tychus. And Tychus already at the bot lane trying to put some extra pressure in. We're seeing, 3 men actually, like a 4th now that Kerrigan jumps in again. Kerrigan could get the combo off and fails to do so, and Sonia escapes. Kerrigan herself overextending a bit too much. She's now already eliminated. This is off to a pretty fancy start here. I'm liking it. We're having on level 4 now the Wither Wind taken for the increased Withering Fire range. So Sylvanas is now in a position where she can stay a little bit farther behind and see how that goes for her. Brightwing, by the way, with a Hyper Shift, going straight into the Manic Pixie at this point. And yeah, I'm personally actually very interested to see how that Leoric is going to fare in the later stage of the game. Right now, one of the things that they're basically doing with him is they keep him at the top lane to rotate between top and mid and soak the experience. This allows Kerrigan a little bit more freedom on the map, and she can just roam and see if she can get killed somewhere. But already we have Falstad under pressure, and yep, Sylvanas gets away. Tyrael is also attempting to escape. Good dodge on the stun, by the way, by him. But Sonya is doing what she does best. She's getting camps now, and this is actually a smart move on the side of the Royals. They're not really reacting too much to the pressure that we see with Karrigan on the map. They're just soaking the top and the mid with Jaina alone. As long as she's safe, as long as she's careful, she should be not falling victim to any of these attacks. But still, Sonya taking coins on the map. Sonya is still being careful. As I say, she's a little bit too far out. There's the combo, not hitting her. Yeah, Grenade is only pushing her behind the gate, so there was not really a lot of value. But that means that Sylvanas gets some value out of her trade at the bot lane, where they are pushing in with Brightwing and also a camp. We need to retreat, though, because the rotation is already underway, and that is once again going to be the end of Tyrael. Tyrael is now dying for the third time already as is. Again, the dodge against the combo. Well played so far. But Tyrael has to be a bit careful here. 4 heroes again at the bot lane, and still the rotation at the top with Leoric and Jaina basically dancing that little dance. And Jaina went into the Arcane Intellect with a Lingering Chill, not going into that shotgun build, in the machine gun build that we actually seen a bit earlier already in use. Hammer gains, the Majestic Span, also quest talent with increased clarity on the side of Oriel, not going into the Swift Sweep, which allows her to get that thing in a little bit faster. And the first barrage actually against the red team. But no value in the mid lane. Look at this. All of the structures were nearly still at full HP. They're trying to burst it down now. It might just be enough, but the big problem that you have, nope, shouldn't be. That fort should survive. The idea always is that you damage those gates a bit earlier before you actually get your turning completed, and then the fort will fall completely. This way, it could still be remaining. 3 shots, gonna be close. Now they're gonna get it. They're just going to get it thanks to that push at the front line. If you don't do any damage at all, the fort survives, and then the opponent has to dive deep to take it down, or they have to sacrifice a couple of cannonballs for the next barrage. So they went in for it and are able to get that. 8 versus 7 right now in Talents, and we're having at this point the barb shot taken. We're also seeing now the Relentless Soldier after in the rhythm. Not going for the bigger they are or anything like that, since Tychus at this point of course has also realized that there's no real heavy hit point tanks against him, where he can really go for the percentage damage. Yeah, Leoric on the other hand, up to the top lane needs to be a bit careful, because Jaina is definitely packing a punch. Karrigan is dead, and that's the perfect timing. Tyrael again trying to get some use out of his trade. Don't we all love this when you have a Tyrael in Hero League that immediately dies at the beginning of the game because he face checks every bush against 3 and then claims that he's just getting value out of his trade? And you don't know if you should laugh or just facepalm and quit and rage quit the game immediately. Those are the times. Tyrael in this case survives though. And they got the kill against Karrigan, which was actually an important one. So now they get the coins at the bot lane, and they're going to get the coins up here at the top too. So that's a lot of coins in the hands of the red team. The only problem with that is coins that you hold don't really do anything for you. You can still lose that stuff. But they have now the initiative on the map, and they're already starting to be a little bit careful with how they are running this. They would, of course, ideally get into level 10 first, but now look at Sonya. If Sonya is getting jumped there, that could be a problem. Leoric is there too, there's no 10 though, and Sonya is able to escape. But those are the scary moments, when you have a level coin Sonya just trying to get away there, and you are like, oh my god, if she dies, then we are screwed. Not happening in this case though. So level 10s are now being dropped, and well, with level 10 on the board, we are now seeing that Entomb, and of course we're going to see the Mighty Gust. So that's the moment when you have Mighty Gust plus Entomb, and you're really just trying to entomb a target and then gust the rest of the team away so that you have a secure kill. If you're going into the Dragon Laser Drill with that too, then you have a bit of zoning opportunities as well. So both of those teams are now trying to find that synergy with their rogue abilities, especially since the red team has now also secured level 10. Sonya still playing this a bit passive, but she is doing that PvE style that we've been talking about earlier, just trying to get camps. And she went for Leap! She actually went for Leap. I mentioned it during the draft, didn't really think they would go for it, but they go for the aggressive move here, playing Leap together with a Ring of Frost, Brightwing even with the disengage with the Emerald Wind, not going Blink Heal. So after Karrigan jumps in, disengaged can be used, and is going to be a big part of it. Once more, we're having Tyrael trying to escape here. Good jumps from him, but now he's slowed down, and that is a problem, and that might be the end of him. Uses the Sanct. Here comes the Ring of Frost. Doesn't hit anything, though, and Karrigan is pushed back by Brightwing using the Emerald Wind. Wasted the ult before that. Has no Blink Heal, and that means the Entomb is the end of her. Great play. Yaya trying to get a coin, but that only results in him dying too. So that is 2 kills, 2 more kills in favor of the blue team in favor of the Water Dragons. The Royals, on the other hand, finally able to turn in, and they are getting that barrage into that mid lane. So that should actually annihilate that fort here and put them on pretty even footing with the opponent, who's already on level 12. But it's definitely still one of those moments where you want to see if you can maybe like go for a bit of team fight. The interesting thing about Leap, by the way, is that of course usually we see it as an initiation tool, where you're just trying to initiate during the fight and then you have to follow up damage. And it's definitely what they're going to try and do. But Leap is also going to put you in a spot where you can use it to escape and you hold those coins. So you can even try to play around your opponent a little bit more here. And Edward might have to use that at some point. The stuns are there. He's getting attacked. Jumps in deep for Falstad. The kill against Kerrigan. Sonya is also falling, but it's a second kill as we have Tigers dying. And even the Mighty Gust had to be used, but look at that, the dodge by Tyria. Great play here by him, well done, and he gets the kill against Falstad. Incredibly well played by him here, and that was totally cool to watch. And even the Mighty Gust could not really get him out of position there, so yep, having that sword around is of course quite helpful. So in this case now we have another turn in for them, and they have the coins for sure. Double strike taken, no range increase on the with the Eviscerate. We have Burning Rage, that's the stuff. We are also seeing now the Giant Killer, plus in addition to that, we have finally the Converging Force, so trying to get a little bit of control during these fights too. 13 isn't there yet for the red team. Can they escape? There's the Sanctification again. There's the Emerald Wind. Okay, they needed to use that. The Dragon Laser Drill is on the ground and they are still all escaping. Or are they? Because Leoric is looking for the Entomb again. Leoric wants the Entomb. He's very likely to get it if he wants it, and yep, he does, of course. So there's the Entomb. Sanctification is once again on cooldown, and that means they can't turn around, engage into it, and try to use that to save Brightwing. Mystical Spear now also on level 13, taken by Sonya. We're having down here still a bit of pressure against the bot lane, but 13 versus 13, 8 versus 6 kills. Pretty close actually. But now with a 5 versus 4 advantage on the map, they're attempting to steal the camp away from the opponent, and they're able to do that. There's no holy ground just yet for Tyrael that he can use to just zone them out there. And it's actually at a perfect moment in time, because this camp is starting to push, and at this point, nice! I have to give some credit to Yayak. He has some pretty cool moves here. He's oftentimes caught out of position, so he's overdoing it a little bit. But overall, he has some pretty cool moves here. Nice silence combo. I'm liking it a lot, but can they get the kills? So far, they don't. Brightwing is dead. So is Kerrigan. So no, actually, Sonya died. My bad. There's a bit of a bug apparently with the. Actually, this happened once earlier. I actually think there's a bit of a bug that when a hero dies, sometimes it shows the wrong hero name. Failstat flies in, but he's not punished, is able to get the Mighty Gust, and there is the double kill. The blue team turning this into a 3-for-1 trade. Job well done. Falstad maybe a little bit aggressive with it, and it felt for a moment like Sylvanas and also Jaina were both a bit surprised by that move. And when he flew in that aggressively, he still was able to push them back, and that made it worth it there. But we have seen a lot of Falstad in a situation like this just simply die because they went a little bit too deep with it and all of a sudden get punished. Looking at the stats for now, we are still seeing Tigers with 31,000 hero damage taking the top here. Also Oriel with 24,000 heals, topping Brightwing, who is currently at 16,000, but doesn't have Blink Heal, of course. And now the second turn in. 2 forts, by the way, already down, taken apart by the red team. So right now the Royals actually not doing too badly. We are seeing at the top lane, on the other hand, now the barrage hitting full force. And there is even the entire rest of the team there. So they could actually just like jump in and try to reduce the hit points a bit of the fort, so that less cannonballs are wasted on it. But they are instead attempting to go for the boss here. And that is a pretty safe move, considering that Jaina is on the bot lane right now. 16 isn't there, so no holy ground yet. Sonya has fallen. No, she hasn't. Okay, this is really getting a little bit weird. Like, nobody died, but we actually get like a notification that she has fallen. Like, she didn't. Well, that was a bit odd. Not quite sure what exactly that was about, but I was freaking out. I was just like, what's happening? Did you just jump in? That's the 5 versus 5. Now boss was abandoned for a second. Now it's still taken. Sonya they have Emerald Leap and also the Leap. I wouldn't go for this. This is going to get really, really nasty. That Emerald win can be a game changer. But it's 16 versus 15, and therefore an extra talent for them. Tychus is dead though. Ring of Frost. Kerrigan is about to fall now too. The boss is still not taken. They are going to steal it away. Sonya is on the point. They take down now Leoric too, and that's a triple kill. Boss is taken. Bam, here comes the Polymorph, and goodbye Oriel. She is also eliminated. It's actually like complete team wipe since we have Falstad taken apart by Sylvanas. And now Sylvanas is pushing together with the boss, and this could not really be worse. The coins are collected by Tyrael, and they are going to go for that first keep. I don't really think that they can go for the core at this point, but taking the keep alone is already such a massive advantage thanks to their Sylvanas. They will get so much value here. Going for core would probably be overdoing it a little bit, but those 16 talents would in theory make it possible to at least get some damage onto it, but I highly doubt that they're willing to really risk it. They're far ahead right now, so why would you actually risk that? Yeah, that Falstad kill happened earlier. He's back now, so I'm not sure what's happening with that, guys, but of course he didn't die again here. Oriel is also not dying. Now Kerrigan is dying. That actually is real. So Kerrigan is dead, and Leoric is also eliminated. Leap, and Tychus is down, and that is going to be the end of it. They are able to push it through. The defense not strong enough. Now it's a 5 versus 2 at this point, and they are going to go for the core here. The boss might not be the strongest this early in the game, but it doesn't matter anymore. Double Ring of Frost. The end of Oriel, who's eliminated. This is going to be core. Great play, GG, as the Royals take the lead in the best of 3 series. I mean, boys, holy shit was that game trolling me. Sonya died, Oriel died. No, they didn't. Like, what? I mean, this is basically, it looked a little bit like it's a test. The game wants to test if I'm paying attention. I hope I passed, then we can go back to normal right now. But what was going on there? That was just all over the place. Like, he's dying, and I was just like, nope, nobody's dying there. Like, what are you talking about? I freaked out when he showed me that Sonya kill, and I was just like, how did Sonya die? Why would they engage into a 5 versus 4 the top lane with the boss not still being on full health, not waiting for the Jaina? And then I look up and I'm like, wait a second, Sonya is still alive and kicking. She's there, she's waiting. So I was like, all right. What did we learn from the last game? The last game taught us one thing, and it's that the Water Dragons, they cannot win unless they play with Gazlowe. So they need to go back to the roots. They need to focus on what they're strong with. Get that Gazlowe in play and show us the Robo-Goblin. Give us the Robo-Goblin, give us the value. Give us the Goblin Tinker. And yeah.
Your loyalty is
Your loyalty. Cursed. Cheers, bro. 9 months. Thank you very much for that, my friend. Arima has also subscribed a bit early. I can't wait for the Meta Madness. Hell yeah. Meta Madness. Tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward as well. Okay, so I guess we're going to get a draft song. Not sure if there's user interface bug or if that's actually like a bug with the game.